Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. It is me Sukhmani. I hope you all are doing amazing. So it's been a while since I made gouache landscape paintings, and I decided that I'm going to paint a tutorial for you guys so you guys can paint along and it's going to be fun. So in today's video I am using the Hemi gouache set and 360 GSM paper for painting and these mop brushes. All the things that I'm using in the video I will link down in the description so you guys can check that out. So let's begin painting. The first thing that I'm doing is I took a bit of white and some blue, and after mixing it together I am adding in generous amount of water so I can sweep it across the whole surface easily, and we're going to start by painting the sky. As the sky is the furthest thing on the painting, it needs to be painted first, and this helps bring out a little bit of depth in our paintings. So I'm adding in different values of blue here. The corner here is a little bit darker than the rest of the blue, and we're going to gradually go down to some white and then to some orange so we can create like a evening scene. So as you guys can see, I'm just going like all across the surface in one big swoop all the time, because if we like put on little strokes of it, it's going to create like this streaky texture. For the orange color down there, I am adding in a bit of an orange, some yellow, so we get this really warm shade of orange, and I'm going to dip in some water and just go all over the surface again, adding in some white straight from the palette. So this will help us create more easy transition to the different shades. Here I'm just adding a bit more orange, and I did add a little too much, so I'm just going to neutralize that with some yellow and a lot of water, some white, and now I'm just going to like add in and sweep it all across the surface. Keep on blending it as I go. I am next going to be using a flat brush so I don't get this streaky texture on the background. So after making the background of the sky, we're going to make the clouds next, and for this I am adding in some orange, some yellow, white and a little bit of the blue that we had left over here. So this is going to help us create a very muted shade, and this is going to help bring out that very soft cloud texture. So I'm just dabbing in the whole surface where I should think about placing the clouds and everything. Next I'm making a very saturated version of the same paint that I used before. I am not adding in as much blue, it's just yellow, white and orange, and we're going to add a few more layers of this. So here I am only highlighting the surface of the cloud that is at the bottom, because since the sun is set in our artwork and on our reference, the light is going to come from the bottom, so it will only give a highlighted effect to the bottom of the cloud and not at the top of the cloud. So we're going to add brighter shades as we go down. Here I'm just using the leftover paint on the palette and just making it all orange, so I don't have any leftover space and it just looks put together. Then I am adding in more brighter shades, because when the paint is dried up it is a little more dull than when it was wet, so we're going to make it a little brighter so we have those beautiful sunset orange clouds in the sky. Now for the fields that are in front of the artwork, I mean in the foreground. So I'm adding in some green, some little bit of black, so I can make this really dark green, and I am just going to carefully sweep it all across the surface. We are just going to lay down like a very thin base for the green field that is going to be painted on in front, and just dividing in the areas. So I'm adding a bit more green so it is a little bit lighter than the one that I made the mountain and the horizon with. Just keep on adding water as you go by so you can cover up the whole surface. Now I'm just like moving my brush in this upward direction so I can create a little bit of a texture of the fields that we're going to have and the crops and the flowers that are growing there. After that, I'm just going to add a bit more black to the green that I already have here, adding in a few different values of green and creating this little dots all over the mountain that is in the background, and creating a little bit of depth with adding in some yellow ochre from the palette. And I am going to make these little bushes here. It's not that visible. For it to be prominently visible and have very bright and the dark surfaces in comparison, you have to do so you let the paint layer to dry before you apply the next layer of paint. And here is what I did. I let the paint dry, and this is now me applying some lemon yellow so I can create these little flower kind of things in the surface. Next we're going to use the same dark green and make these little lines, just giving in an illusion of the plants that are growing in the foreground. After covering up the whole surface, I'm going to take a little bit more green and I'm going to fill in a few of the spaces and add more strokes, but in a different value of green, and this is going to create a little bit of a depth. Next I'm adding in some yellow, some orange, a little bit of white so I can create these little dots that are going to create the flower field that we are going to paint on here. And as the perspective goes, we are going to paint some small dots at the background and then just keep making the flowers bigger as we come to the foreground. Make sure to let the paint dry before you add another layer of paint, since if you put like this bright yellow on the wet green in the background, it's going to get all mushy and become like muddy. This does take a lot of time, but I think the end result is always a lot of fun. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I took in some purple and added in a bit of a white. I'm going to add the dark value of purple first, defining the areas where I'm going to put the lavender flowers. I guess they're lavender, probably. And then I'm going to add little dots of more values of purple, a little bit lighter, adding in more white as I go to the topmost layer. And with all these dots in place, this artwork is finally coming together and I think it looks beautiful. It did take a lot of time and I think it was worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel and wait for the next painting that I'm going to post, probably another landscape, because it's been so long since I painted these and I'm having so much fun doing so. Hope you guys like it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.